So is your goal in retirement to be as wealthy as possible or to have as many experiences as you can? So that's what this video is about today, is things that can really crash your retirement if you go to chasing the dollar. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize right now. My voice is a little bit raspy because I went down to South Texas and just got back, and I brought back a little bit of a head cold with me. But again, I went down to South Texas and we spent some money on an experience. I went fly fishing down there.
Awesome.
All right, first fish on the Guadalupe this year.
Perfect. Now we can just turn it loose.
In South Texas in the middle of winter time, and caught some decent trout and just had a really good time. But we didn't take the motorhome down there. We rented an Airbnb just for comfort. My wife wasn't comfortable that the weather was going to be good for traveling down there and traveling back. So we really didn't want to take the motorhome. So we spent a little bit extra money for that to have that experience. And, my personal belief is, depending on how much expendable money I have, I'd like to spend it on experiences, not stuff, not plastic garbage, not tools, things like that. In retirement, I'm trying to spend my extra money on experiences. I'm golfing, going fly fishing, things like that are what interest me. So I think you got to ask yourself, would it be better to die with a whole lot of money or with a whole lot of experiences that people are going to remember you for? They're going to remember you for the trips that you took with them, the things you did with them, the things you did for them, rather than how much money you had. Money is great. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy having money, and without money, life is very difficult. It really is. But when you get into your senior years, you got to think about what the rest of your life looks like and what you want to spend the rest of your life doing. So when you're planning for retirement, it's real easy to fall into that trap. What is it? I'll work one more year. I promise I'm just going to work one more year and then I'm going to retire. Well, I'll tell you what, I actually did that, and I did work the extra year, and I'm kind of glad I did. We had a big debt that we wanted to get paid off, so we didn't have that monthly bill in retirement and didn't have to worry about taking that extra money out of our nest egg every month. So I worked that extra year. But you can fall into that trap because you can say, well, I'm going to go ahead and wait for Medicare, which is a big one, and a lot of people have to do that. Health insurance is so expensive. I am so fortunate that I can budget that, and the company that I worked for previously gives me a little bit of a discount on my health insurance. Not a whole lot, because it still costs me about $1,900 a month for health insurance, but that is a big one. I'm going to wait for Medicare. I'm going to wait and get that last bonus. I fell into that because I wanted to get that last bonus to pay off that big debt, which I did, which worked out good for me, but I only did the one more year one time. I didn't do it a second and the third time. Well, hey, I'd like to pause the video for just a minute and ask you if you'd go down and leave a comment for the community and let us know, what do you think? Do you think it's more important to be wealthy in retirement or live out the experiences that you've thought about all your life? And like I say, leave us a comment. Let's have a good discussion about that. And the other thing I hear a lot of people doing is they're saying, well, I'm going to go ahead and work, that one more year and I'm going to get to full retirement age. Well, is it worth it? I don't know. It all depends on you. It depends on your health. And, I'm kind of about not retiring as soon as possible because I think you need to be financially responsible for your retirement. But I think it's better to retire, earlier than later. One thing a lot of people that I find out will do, they'll say, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work till I'm 70, and they build their retirement plan to work until they're 70. And that can backfire on you because you don't know if you're going to be healthy enough to continue working until you're 70 years old. So if you build your retirement plan more to retire around 62 or in your early 60s, then if you do end up wanting to continue to work and build up your nest egg, that's great. But if you don't, you've already made that commitment that you can retire in your early 60s. So that's kind of my perspective on it. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional. So if you need professional advice for planning your retirement, seek out a fiduciary, fee-only financial advisor. So for most of us, our investment portfolio will make up, a big part or big percentage of our retirement income. And there can be different retirement streams. You may have rental properties that you get money from. You can look at your Social Security that you're going to take from. Your portfolio, just as a rule of thumb, and that's what it is. A rule of thumb is, you can draw out about 4%, of your portfolio. And if you say have $500,000 in that, that's about $20,000 a year that you can safely pull out for 30 years and take some inflation raises along with that. And you're supposedly going to be okay. Again, I'm not a professional, but that's a good rule of thumb. Now, sometimes if you're not where you want to take your Social Security yet, or you want to put off taking Social Security and let that build up, you may need to take more than the 4% and then take less than the 4% later on in life. Which is kind of what I'm going to do, because I'm not taking my Social Security, even though I'm eligible here at 62. I'm going to try to hold off till I'm about 65, which is what my model says. 65 to 67 is going to be where I want to take my Social Security at. But again, that's a personal, thing that you need to figure out with your financial advisor. Everybody's case is different. So another trap that you can run into is that your portfolio and, your income streams, they go ahead and they'll support you being able to go fly fishing, being able to go golf. We go to Nevada a couple times a year, spend some time with my wife's family, just things like that. And the trap you can get into is, I don't want to spend that money. And you end up not living the lifestyle that, you want to live, or the lifestyle that you thought you were going to live, because you don't want to spend the money. And that's a trap that you can get into that can be a real problem, because there's 3 stages of retirement, right? There's the go-go years, the slow-go years, which is going to be more in your 70s to your 80s, and then your no-go years, which is going to be your mid-80s up into your 90s, where you're not going to be able to do things. That's the other problem. If you wait until you're 70 to retire, you only have so many, healthy years left to live out the experiences and the things that you want to do in retirement. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have a job that allows you to do those different, lifestyle things and take those vacations and everything you want to do while you're working, man, that is great. That's kind of the best of both worlds. But unfortunately, most of the time, you're going to have some vacation, but you're not going to have enough vacation to do all the things that you want to do in retirement. So, be careful and look at your portfolio and try to squeeze as much life as you can out of your money and live the experiences that you want to live. So one thing that I've found in retirement is, I'm surprised. I thought that I had done enough planning that I wasn't going to be frugal. But you know what? I really am. I'm a lot more frugal than I thought I would be in retirement. And I think that's just a real natural progression, because you don't have money coming in. You're taking money out of your portfolio now. And especially in the earlier years, in the go-go years, your 60s to mid 70s, you're taking a lot more money out because you're wanting to go on vacations. We took a pretty good chunk of money out right, the minute we retired, and bought a nice car to travel in. It's not a real nice car, just a little Subaru, but we bought a used car, good quality used car, and we took that out right away. So one of the conversations that I had with my wife just the other day is I said, you know what? I would rather spend my money on experiences and helping people out when I can, rather than spending it on just stuff. And I've mentioned that before, and it's so easy to go out. Like when we go out on our vacations, one of the things we do is we go secondhand shopping. We really enjoy it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a game for us. It's like a treasure search for us. So we have a lot of fun doing that. So what we'll do a lot of times is I'll go golfing or go fishing or something like that, and then we'll go out and we'll go shopping. But what we found is when I was working, we'd go shopping and we'd buy stuff, right? Well, now we found that we really don't need to buy a lot of things. We look around more than anything, and we'll spend a pretty good amount of money on food, which what we do is we'll go out and we'll have a really nice lunch, and then we'll bring the leftovers back and eat those for dinner at the Airbnb or the motorhome or wherever we are. And so that's one of the things we do to save a little money. You know what? I hope this video's helped you, and if it has, I'd appreciate it if you reach down, hit that like button, and watch this video next.